The Kai Season 7 is ending with more mess than I think any of us were ready for. And listen, I got questions, I got theories, and I got a whole lot of side-eye for some of these characters. This finale didn't just close doors, it kicked them open and left us wondering who's really gonna make it out alive in Season 8. We got betrayals, heartbreaks, power shifts, and a couple moves that made me want to throw my remote across the room. So, buckle up, because what went down in episode 12 is not for the faint of heart, and trust me, Season 8 is about to be a war zone. First off, let's talk about that opening scene in episode 12 because, whew, the tension was thick. The streets of Chicago feel different now, colder, more dangerous, and you can tell every single character is moving with this sense of desperation. It's like everybody's clock is ticking, and they know it. Kesha is holding her head high, but you can see the weight on her shoulders. She's still pushing for her school to open. But she's realizing fast that a dream in this city takes more than hard work. It takes allies who won't fold when things get ugly. And speaking of ugly, the drama between Vic and Nuck, yeah, that's not going anywhere. If anything, this finale just poured gasoline on it. Then we got Tiff, who's out here juggling grief, survival, and way too many secrets. She's putting on a strong face, but I think she's more dangerous now than ever. Losing Alicia didn't just break her, it woke her up. She's starting to see who's been lying to her and who's been using her, and let me tell you, if Tiff ever finds out the full truth about Nuck and her baby daddy, it's over. I'm talking straight up, no coming back from this type of over. Now, Reggie, man, he's playing a dangerous game. This episode showed us that he's not just thinking about street moves anymore. He's thinking about legacy, but the way he's going about it, risky as hell. Robbing Alicia's stash was bold, but bold don't always mean smart. And if Season 8 picks up where this leaves off, that robbery might be the thing that starts a chain reaction nobody can stop. And can we talk about the tension with the younger crew? Papa, Jake, Kenya, Bari, these kids are growing up too fast, and you can feel the shift. They're not just side characters anymore, they're getting pulled into the main game. Whether they're ready or not, episode 12 had this moment where you could see it in their eyes, that realization that childhood is over. And every choice from here on out is either gonna save them or bury them. But here's the thing that really stuck with me in this finale, there's no real safe character anymore. Everyone is on somebody's hit list, whether they know it or not, and Season 8? I think it's going to be the season where alliances fall apart, and people you thought would never turn on each other end up pulling the trigger. The finale didn't give us a soft goodbye, it gave us a warning shot. Now, let's get into the real meat of what made this finale hit so hard. The kind of drama that sticks with you after the credits roll. The power balance in Chicago just shifted in ways that nobody's fully prepared for, and I mean nobody, for one. Nuck is still breathing, which is already a miracle considering how many close calls he's had. But this finale made it clear his luck is the only thing keeping him alive right now. The man's skating on thin ice, and the cracks are starting to show. You could see it in the way he was moving. Paranoid, checking over his shoulder every 5 seconds. Snapping at people for the smallest things. He's trying to hold onto his empire. But here's the problem, when your own people start questioning your moves, that's the beginning of the end. And Nuck? He's got more doubters than believers right now. Then there's Vic. If you've been watching closely, you already know Vic's loyalty is like smoke. It shifts depending on where the wind blows. In episode 12, he proved once again that he's not afraid to play both sides if it benefits him. That scene where he got in Shaw's ear, pure manipulation, and Shaw, who should know better by now, is still letting himself be led around. These two are playing with fire. And Season 8 might just be the one where they burn everything down without even realizing they're standing in the middle of it. But what really got under my skin this episode was how quiet some of the biggest players stayed. Like, where's the noise from the people we expect to be running the game? Sometimes silence is scarier than a gun in your face, and right now, I think a few folks are just waiting for the right moment to strike. The streets are way too calm after all the chaos, and if you know the Kai, you know calm never lasts. That's the part that makes me nervous for Season 8. And let's circle back to Kesha for a second. This woman is trying to build something good out of all this madness. But the streets don't care about your good intentions. She's putting her whole heart into this school idea. And while I respect it, I can't help but wonder if the writers are setting her up for heartbreak. Because you can't open a door in this city without inviting danger in. If she actually gets the school running, it's going to draw attention. The kind of attention that could either protect her or put her in the crosshairs. And I don't trust that everyone around her is rooting for her success. Tiff's arc in this finale is something we really need to talk about. This woman has been through hell in the past few episodes and somehow she's still standing. But here's the thing, standing doesn't mean steady. She's carrying grief, anger, and a whole lot of unanswered questions. And I think Season 8 is where she's going to start demanding answers. And y'all already know, once the truth starts spilling, it's gonna get messy fast. If Tiff ever puts the pieces together about Nuck's role in her baby daddy's death, we're not talking about just a confrontation, we're talking about a full-on war. And if she ends up with enough money and power after Alicia's death, she might be the one pulling the strings next season. Now, Reggie, or should I say the problem nobody wants to deal with, is moving like he's untouchable. Episode 12 showed us he's not scared to take risks. But it also showed us he's not playing a long game, and that's dangerous. Because while Nuck's making enemies by being sloppy, Reggie's making enemies by being bold. He's got the street smarts, sure, but does he have the patience? Season 8 might be the season that answers that. Because if there's one thing I know, it's that in the Kai, bold moves either crown you or kill you. And let's not forget the younger crew. Papa, Jake, Kenya, Bari, these kids aren't just watching anymore, they're in it. They've seen too much, they've lost too much. And now they're making decisions that could have life or death consequences. I think the writers are setting them up to be the emotional core of Season 8. Because they're the ones who still have something to lose, and trust me, that makes them the most dangerous players in the game. By the end of episode 12, you can feel it, the shift. The city feels heavier, more dangerous. Like everyone's holding their breath. And Season 8? It's not going to give anybody room to breathe. This finale wasn't just an ending, it was a setup. A promise that the streets of the Kai are about to get bloodier, messier, and way more unpredictable. And honestly, I'm here for every second of it. Here's where the finale really started playing with my emotions, the way every storyline kept crossing over, but instead of giving us closure, it just made the mess bigger. Let's start with that little standoff between Nuck and Reggie's crews. Now, it wasn't some big shootout, but you could feel the heat building. It's the kind of tension where nobody pulls the trigger yet. They're sizing each other up, making mental notes, waiting for that one disrespect too big to ignore, and trust me, in Chicago, it's never a matter of if, it's always when. And speaking of disrespect, Vic might be the slipperiest one in the whole show right now. Episode 12 made it real clear that he's not loyal to anybody except himself. He'll smile in your face, give you his word, and then flip the script before you even realize you've been played. What's worse is, he's smart enough to make you doubt yourself, like maybe you're the one tripping. That's dangerous, and with Nuck leaning on him and Shaw listening to his advice, Vic's in the perfect position to stir up chaos in Season 8 without getting his own hands dirty. But here's the thing about stirring the pot, eventually the steam rises, and you can't hide from it. Meanwhile, Tiff is still out here trying to hold it together, but I think she's starting to wake up to the fact that everybody around her has an agenda. She's lost Alicia, she's got new money in her hands, and she's still got the trauma of that elevator birth hanging over her. And while she's trying to move forward, I see her eyes starting to narrow on the people closest to her. There's gonna come a point where Tiff has to choose, keep playing nice or burn it all down. And if I had to bet, I'd say she's gonna light that match. Kesha, on the other hand, is trying to do good, and that's exactly why I'm scared for her. This school she wants to build could be a safe haven for the kids, a place where they don't have to get swallowed by the streets. But in the Kai, anything good becomes a target. If she can't lock in solid protection, this dream could turn into a nightmare real quick. And the worst part, the threat might not come from outsiders. It could come from someone she thinks is on her side. Now, Shaw is a whole other problem. The man's got this mix of street instincts and bad judgment that's like a ticking time bomb. He moves quick, sometimes too quick, and in this finale, it looked like he was trying to stay one step ahead of trouble, but trouble's been running right beside him. The way he and Vic handled Alicia's body still has me shaking my head. They didn't just make a bad move, they made a sloppy one, and in Chicago, sloppy gets you caught. If the cops start digging, that night could come back to haunt them both. Let's not forget about the younger crew, Papa, Jake, Kenya, and Bari. They're stepping into bigger roles now, and it's making them bold, but bold can turn reckless real fast. Papa's still got that moral compass. But how long can he keep it when the streets keep testing him? Jake's always been quick to act, and now he's starting to feel like he has something to prove. Kenya and Bari, they're soaking up everything, learning the game in silence. And you know what they say, it's the quiet ones you gotta watch. One of the most chilling parts of this finale wasn't a gunfight or a betrayal. It was the feeling that everyone is plotting. Nobody's standing still. Every handshake feels like a setup. Every smile feels like a warning. That's the beauty and the danger of the Kai. You can't tell the difference between your ally and your enemy until it's too late. And Season 8, it's going to test every single character's loyalty. I think we're gonna see alliances break apart. And people we never expected to team up might just join forces. Not because they trust each other, but because the enemy of my enemy is my temporary friend. By the time episode 12 ended, I wasn't just thinking about who might die in Season 8. I was thinking about who might surprise us by surviving. And that's the thing, survival in the Kai isn't about being the toughest or the smartest. It's about knowing when to move, when to hide, and when to strike. And right now, the board is set for the kind of game where one wrong move will take you out for good. Now let's really talk about Nuck. Because if there's one thing this finale made clear, it's that his days are numbered. The man is walking around like he's untouchable. But he's stacking up enemies faster than he's stacking money. The wild part is, half those enemies are people he doesn't even realize have turned on him yet. That's what happens when you build your empire on lies. Eventually, those lies start talking. In episode 12, Nuck once again dodged a bullet, literally and figuratively, just by spinning the same tired story he's been telling since Rob got killed. He's got this gift for making people believe him, but I swear that luck is about to run out, because sooner or later, the truth isn't just gonna come out, it's gonna come for him. And I keep thinking about Tiff in all of this. She's the wild card, she's grieving, she's angry. And she's got just enough power now to make moves that actually matter. But grief does something to a person. It sharpens you in ways you didn't think possible. I can already see it. Season 8 is going to be the one where Tiff stops reacting to what's happening around her and starts making things happen. If she finds out Nuck's been lying to her this whole time, that money she inherited isn't just gonna be for rebuilding her life, it's gonna be war funds. Over on the other side, Reggie's not sitting still either. The man's moving like he's building something bigger, but he's also leaving trails. And when you're in a city like Chicago, trails lead to trouble. I get the sense that Reggie's not thinking small anymore, he's looking at the whole chessboard. But the thing about chess, even the queen can get trapped if she's not careful. Reggie's making bold plays, and while boldness wins battles, it also paints a target on your back. And with Alicia and Tucson out of the picture, there's a power vacuum just waiting to be filled. Reggie and Nuck both want that spot. But only one of them is gonna get it, and the fight for it might destroy them both. And then there's Vic. If we're being honest, Vic's survival has nothing to do with muscle and everything to do with manipulation. He's got this way of sliding into the cracks of a situation and making himself necessary to everybody, which means nobody wants to take him out first. But here's the thing, when you're everybody's friend, you're also everybody's liability. All it takes is one person to connect the dots. And Vic's little balancing act falls apart. I think season 8 is gonna be the one where Vic gets exposed, and when that happens, he's not gonna have anywhere to run. Let's not forget Kesha, because her storyline might be the most dangerous of them all, even if it doesn't look that way yet. A school sounds safe, right? A good thing, but in the Kai, anything that brings people together is either a threat or a tool, depending on who's looking at it. If the wrong people decide Kesha's school is interfering with their business, it could put her directly in harm's way, and that's the heartbreak of it. Her trying to save kids might end up putting her in the line of fire. I wouldn't be surprised if season 8 forces her to make a choice between protecting her dream and protecting her life. The younger crew is still making moves in the background, but I'm telling you now, their role is about to explode. Papa's trying to hold onto his morals, Jake's chasing power, Kenya's learning the ropes, and Bari's staying quiet but watching everything. That's the perfect mix for a serious plot shift. If these four decide to move as a unit in season 8, they could either be the future of the city or the reason it burns. And right now, I can't tell which way it's gonna go. Episode 12 didn't end with a neat little bow. It ended with an unspoken promise. You can feel it in every conversation, every lingering stare, every moment where the camera held just a second too long. The real war hasn't even started yet. Season 8 is going to be the one where lines get drawn in blood, not just in words. And when that happens, the streets of the Kai aren't gonna be the same ever again. By the time episode 12 hit its last stretch, you could feel the ground shifting under everybody's feet. The finale wasn't about big shootouts or one giant twist, it was about stacking smaller moves that are gonna explode later. And the thing about those smaller moves? They're harder to see coming, which makes them 10 times more dangerous. Let's start with Shaw. I've been side-eyeing him all season, but this finale just confirmed my suspicions. He's a liability not because he's weak, but because he acts first and thinks later. That whole situation with Alicia's body? That's the kind of sloppy work that brings heat you can't shake. Shaw's the type to think he's covering something up, but really, he's just making it messier. And if the cops start sniffing around in season 8, I can promise you Shaw's name is gonna be one of the first they pull up. He's already tangled up with Vic, and when you're tied to someone as slippery as him, you're just asking to get dragged down. Nuck, on the other hand, is still moving like he's the king of the city, but kings fall the hardest. The man's been dodging bullets with lies, but the more times you pull that trick, the less it works. And the people around him, they're watching. You can see the doubt creeping into their faces. It's subtle, a pause before answering him, A quick glance between each other when he's talking, but it's there. Loyalty in the Kai is like ice in the summer, looks solid for a while, then starts melting fast, and when it melts, the cracks show. Tiff is walking through this storm like someone who's already decided. She's not taking any more losses. You can feel that shift in her. She's not just surviving anymore, she's preparing. The elevator birth, Alicia's death, the money. In her hands, all of that is fuel, and once she lights that fire, it's gonna burn anyone who had a hand in hurting her. I wouldn't be surprised if she's already connecting dots in her head. Season 8 might be the one where Tiff starts moving like a real boss, not loud, but calculated. Reggie's lane is looking dangerous too. That robbery he pulled off in episode 12, on the surface, it looked like a win. But when you take from someone like Alicia, you're not just taking money and jewelry, you're taking attention. Attention from the wrong people, and in the Kai, the wrong people don't send you a warning letter, they show up. I think Reggie's gonna find himself playing defense more than offense next season. Especially if Nuck decides that taking him out is the easiest way to secure the top spot. Kesha's school dream is still one of the few pure things left in this story, but pure doesn't mean safe if she can get it off the ground. It might be the one thing that gives the younger crew a shot at something better. But if the wrong crew sees it as a threat to their business, that school could turn into a battleground before the first bell rings. And knowing how this show works, that bell might never even get the chance to ring. Speaking of the younger crew, Papa, Jake, Kenya, Bari, the finale gave us little hints that they're not gonna stay in the background for long. Jake's still got that fire in him, the kind that makes him dangerous when he feels cornered. Papa's holding onto his morals by a thread, but threads snap. Kenya and Bari are learning how to move quietly. And quiet movers in the Kai are the ones who end up making the loudest impact when they finally act. If these four link up in Season 8, they could either become the most powerful young team in the city or implode before they even get started. By the last minutes of episode 12, it felt like everybody was gearing up for something bigger. No one's making peace. No one's backing down, they're all just regrouping. And that's what makes this setup so dangerous in the Kai. The calm before the storm isn't actually calm. It's the part where everyone sharpens their knives and counts their bullets. Season 8 isn't gonna start with a slow build, it's gonna start with impact. And when that first shot is fired, the dominoes are gonna fall fast, man. Now that we've laid everything out, you can just feel how the Kai ain't slowing down for nobody. Season 7 episode 12 wasn't just a finale, it was a straight setup for a war, a heartbreak, and maybe even a few funerals when we step into Season 8. Every character we've been writing with is standing at a crossroads. And one wrong move could have him losing everything they ever fought for. I don't care if you die hard for Emmett, rooting for Keisha, or still got hope for Jake. This next chapter gon' test all of them in ways they never thought possible. Think about it, we still got that tension in the streets brewing. Like a pot ready to boil over, Trig trying to play both sides. Victor still dancing with that political devil. And Darnell acting like he's got his family all figured out. But you can tell that man's one slip up away from chaos. And don't even get me started on Douda. Yeah, he might be laying low right now. But we all know Douda don't go away, he reloads. The man's like a storm that disappears for a minute just to come back. Twice as deadly, I'm telling y'all. He's still pulling strings from the shadows. And Season 8 might be when he finally reminds everybody who really runs this game. And look, love stories in the Kai? They always come with a price. Emmett and Keisha might look solid right now. But if you've been watching long enough, you know nothing stays perfect out here. Trust issues, outside temptation, old mistakes, all of it could creep back in. Jake and Gemma, I don't even know if they gon' make it to Season 8 as a couple. Cause the way they've been drifting apart, it's like they speaking to different languages these days. And Bakari, that boy's on a dangerous road and I can see him getting caught up in something he can't walk away from. What makes it so wild is that everybody's moves right now are connected. One bad decision from Trig could put Emmett in danger. One bad move from Bakari could put Gemma in danger. And one power grab from Douda, that could change the whole balance of the South Side overnight. The Kai has never been about one main character. It's always been about the web, and right now the web is tight, messy, and ready to snap. So Season 8? I'm expecting bodies to drop, alliances to crumble, and somebody we thought was untouchable to finally meet their end. And I ain't saying that to be grim. I'm saying that because the Kai has always been about showing that nobody's safe when pride, power, and survival are on the line. But here's what I love most about this show. Through all the lies, the cheating, the street politics, and the heartbreak, there's always that heartbeat of community. There's always somebody trying to protect, trying to build, trying to love in a place where all three are damn near impossible. It's why we root for these characters even when they mess up, cause deep down, we know they're just trying to find peace in the middle of the chaos. So here's my final word for y'all. Hold on tight, cause season 8 ain't just gonna give us drama, it's gonna test our loyalty. The people we've been writing for might make choices that break us. The villains we hate might end up saving the day, and those quiet moments, they might be the ones that hit the hardest. If you've been watching The Kai from the start, you already know this ain't just a TV show, it's a mirror. It's showing us the beauty and the pain, the wins and the losses, the way life forces you to grow up quick and choose who you really are. And I promise you, when season 8 drops, we're all gonna be right here together, breaking it down, feeling it all, and seeing who makes it out the other side. So stay locked in. Keep that South Side energy alive, and remember, in The Kai, nothing is ever as simple as it looks. I'll catch y'all next time. But until then, protect your peace, protect your people, and never forget where you came from.